Hello, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and I'm here today to talk about my favorite game mechanism in the dexterity game Crokinole. Crokinole, I think, has been around for a long time, but I didn't get the chance to first play it until a few months ago. I think it was back in January, and I played it a few times since. A friend of mine has a nice Crokinole board, one of those custom made, so it's this big round board, and you're basically flicking these little discs and trying to get close to the center of the board and knock out other players' pieces. And Crokinole is just a lot of fun. I mean, it's like many dexterity games. It's just a good time flicking around these pieces and seeing what happens. And it's one of those games where if you get a hit, if you get a great shot, you feel really good. But that's not the best game mechanism, I don't think. I think the best mechanism, and it's barely even a mechanism, it's just an element of the game, of Crokinole and really any other dexterity game, and one other type of game that I'll talk about, is the fun of epically failing when you take a shot in Crokinole. I've experienced this in a few games, but in Crokinole it really came to light, because in Crokinole you'll have a good shot, and then you'll follow it up with such a terrible shot that it is laughable and fun and hilarious, and it's just a good time. That's very odd in a game where doing terribly or having a terrible move or a terrible shot actually ends up feeling good. And maybe that's just my personality, but from the people I've played it with, we all have different personality types, and we all kind of had those same moments of epically failing and epically missing a shot. So I just love that element about Crokinole, that somehow it is able to take failure and make it a core element of the game, a core element of the fun of the game. And the one other instance I can think of this in a separate genre of games, because I think that does apply to a lot of dexterity games, like in Coconut, one of the games that I love on my shelf back there. You can have a terrible miss in Coconuts and it's funny and fun. But I think the other instance is in cooperative games with random elements, where the one thing that could go wrong, that has like a very low chance of going wrong, when it happens, that actually, even though you're failing and losing because of it, it actually creates a fun, memorable moment. And I think that's pretty cool that cooperative games in particular, and dexterity games, have this element of epically failing, and somehow that makes the game even better because it has the potential of that happening. And when that happens, it is this fun, memorable moment. So if you have any other thoughts about games that have this element where an epic fail is actually part of the best parts of the game, the most fun part of the game, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks.